Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So today in this video we are going to take a look at this USB mini aquarium heater designed for small fish tanks as well as fish bowls. Now if you take a look at the picture, you will see that such heaters are widely available on many different websites, possibly with different brand names. The one that I've got says low pressure heater. There is no branding on there, or at least I'm not sure what that says. The model number, the one that I've got, says RS588, and this particular heater is available in two variants, as you can see on the top, 5 watt and a 10 watt variant. The one that I've bought is the 10 watt variant, and it says low pressure heater, but I don't know why they say low pressure on this packaging. Anyways, if you take a look at the side of the packaging, you can see that the same heater is possibly available in different power ratings and different voltages. This is a USB heater, so it takes 5 volts. So without any further delay, let's just take this heater out and see how the heater looks from inside. Now I've seen a lot of negative reviews, so I wanted to see for myself whether this heater is any good or not. So I'm going to take it out from here. So inside the box we get the heater itself, a small quality check card, and that's pretty much what you get inside there. There's a small polythene packaging in there. Maybe it came off when I opened the box. Right, so as you can see, this is how it looks. There is your USB typical cable, small suction cups which is on top of the wire. The body seems like it is made with metal all around, and it is terminated. The end caps are made with some sort of a rubberized or silicone there. So this is also silicone, this is also silicone, and all around this body is made of aluminium. The body, it says DC USB 10 watt heater. So let me just open the wire and measure the length of the wire, so that you will have an idea whether you will need an extension to run this heater or not. So I've got the USB cable open. We've got a small tape measure here. So let us measure the length of this cable, starting from the USB connector all the way to the heater, and as you can see, it is coming out to be about 3 feet and 1 inch long. So decent size cable. Hopefully this will give you an idea how long the cable actually is. Now talking about the size of the heater is very small. If we start from here, you can see it is just a little longer than 3 inches, and the thickness of the heater is very small, a little more than 5 millimeter there. Now when I'm looking at the body of this heater, I don't see any indicator or LEDs there, so I'm not sure what is the case with this. On the listing when I bought this, they said that it maintains the stable temperature, but I'm not sure whether it has any cutoff feature or not. So without any further delay, let's just quickly put this in a small container and see how much power it takes. It says 10 watt. We'll see how much power it actually takes and whether it has a cutoff feature or whether this will be able to maintain temperature or not. Right, to check the heating capability of this heater, we've got this thermometer. Let's turn this on. As you can see, the current temperature is 22.6, and I've got a small container of water here. So I'm going to put this container here, and now we know the current temperature of the water. The heater was inside there for a couple of seconds now, so it's 22 point something degrees Celsius. So I'm going to take the heater now. I'm going to put this in, and I'm going to plug this in a small charger. Okay, so I've got a small power strip here. I'm going to put this here, and the charger that I'm using is a 20 watt charger from Green. So I'm going to plug this in one of the ports. It's plugged in, and to measure the power, we will use this USB meter. So I'm going to plug this in. As you can see, I've plugged in my USB meter. Now I'm going to plug in the heater, and hopefully that will tell us how much power this heater actually takes. So it's now plugged in. So as you can see, it is taking 5 volts, and the current it is taking is about 1.4 amperes. So it seems it is taking 7.5 watt from the charger. So the heater is working in condition, and if you take a look at the heater, you will see that there is absolutely no indicator or LEDs in there. So what I'm going to do now is, now that we know the heater is working, let's come back after a couple of hours and see what is the temperature it reaches and whether it maintains the temperature to somewhere close to 26 or 27 degrees Celsius, which is a desired temperature when it comes to aquarium heaters. So let's come back after 2-3 hours. Okay guys, so running this heater for about 3 hours now. And now if you take a look at the temperature, you will see the temperature is about 38 degrees Celsius, which is way too high for aquarium needs. So that makes it very clear that this heater doesn't have any sort of cutoff feature or any thermostat built in. So the claims that they made that this is auto adjusting is completely false. However, they do claim that this heater is designed for tanks up to 2 to 5 liters. So as you can see there, 2 to 5 liters tank. So let's give them a benefit of the doubt. I'm going to put this on a 5 liter tank and we'll see what is the maximum temperature it is able to reach on a 5 liter tank. Okay guys, so here is a 5 liter container which is filled with water. It's got a little bit of java moss and a small pothos plant, and these leaves that you see here are completely underwater leaves, as you can see there. So let's put our heater in and let's see what is the temperature we are able to reach. So I'm doing this test about 8 in the PM. Now we'll check back tomorrow and see what is the maximum temperature that this heater is able to make in this 5 liter container. So let's come back tomorrow. Okay guys, so this is the next day morning, and last night we added this USB 10 watt mini heater in this 5 liter container. So let's take a look at the thermometer and see what is the maximum temperature that we've reached. As you can see, the thermometer displays 26.3 degrees Celsius, and I've been checking for last 1.5 hours and it is constantly displaying 26.3, 26.2 degrees Celsius. That means that the temperature of the tank is more or less constant. And that's not because the heater is able to maintain the temperature, because we know that the heater doesn't have any thermostat. The only reason it works in this size tank at this temperature is because the tank is at an equilibrium. So what that means is basically the tank water is losing heat to the ambient temperature, and exactly the same time it is gaining the same amount of heat from the heater, and that's why system is in balance and we are seeing a constant read on the thermometer. But the problem is, if the ambient temperature or your room temperature or the surrounding temperature started rising, the heater will not be able to stop at a correct temperature. The heater will keep on heating and possibly putting your fish lives or plants lives in jeopardy. So this heater requires constant monitoring. At least you have to put in a small thermometer in your tank to see whether the temperature is right or not. So if you want something that can automatically adjust the temperature and maintains the temperature without you having to worry about your surrounding temperature and the ambient temperature or the temperature or the seasonal changes, this heater is not for you. But if you can be a little careful, monitor the temperature of your tank every now and then, I think then you can get by. But more or less, I wouldn't feel safe putting this heater with some expensive fish. So there is that. Alright guys, so I've been testing this heater for about 3-4 days now, and the first thing that we did with this heater was that we added this heater in a small container. We started at 22 degrees Celsius, and within 3 hours the water temperature reached to about 40 degrees Celsius, which is not safe for any fish, which tells us that this heater does not have any thermal cutoff or thermostat built in there. So this heater will not be able to regulate your water temperature, and it will keep on heating despite the temperature being very high. Then I gave it a benefit of the doubt and added it in a bigger container. So then we added this heater in a 5 liter container and we left the heater running throughout the night. We checked next morning and the water temperature was staying constant at 26 degrees Celsius. Does that mean that this heater is good enough for 5 liter container? Absolutely not. And the reason for that is because the tank was at an equilibrium. So basically the amount of heat our tank was losing was equal to the amount of heat this heater was providing to our water. That was the only reason the water temperature was staying constant. If the surrounding temperature was a little higher, the heater could keep heating your tank and it will not cut off, possibly increasing the temperature to dangerous level. So there is that. Then just one more thing, I added this heater in a 20 liter tank, and there this heater just couldn't keep up. It wasn't just able to bring the temperature high enough for fish that requires a little higher temperature. So overall, I think it's a usable heater for people who can babysit their tank and keep monitoring their tank temperature every now and then, or people who know that their surrounding temperature doesn't change too much. So those are the people who can use this, but still I would not recommend this heater for people who just want a simple solution that just works. So if you want something similar, I think you should take a look at this one. I bought this heater about 1 year ago. Again, a USB 10 watt heater, but this heater is much better than this one. The prices of this heater is a little high, but not that high compared to this one. Again, this is a 10 watt heater, but this has LED, a red LED and a green LED. So when the heater is in heating mode, you see the red LED, and when the heater is cut off, it displays the green LED. There's a small thermostat in there, so when the temperature reaches high, it will automatically cut off. I used this with a Betta fish and it worked flawlessly. It's been 1 year and it is still working fine. So if you want something small, USB heater, I think you should go with this one rather than this one again. But this doesn't have any temperature control as well, so if you want some temperature control, there are other models available, but I don't think for such a small heater temperature control is really needed. I think this just works really fine for up to a 5 to 6 liter of tank. This heater works really well. So there we go. This was my video of this simple USB mini aquarium heater. Although they do claim, this one claim that it is capable of maintaining the temperature, but it doesn't. Anyways, I hope you find this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.